Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. Every week we take a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby, and we of course touch base with the various extensions of club rugby into the provincial space, into the under 20s, women's rugby, and so on. So of course big thanks to our partners on board with us here at Cape Rugby TV. Score Energy Drinks, of course, on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy down on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, and of course CTC Sports, who make our masks for us, and of course provide that set of masks which goes together with the score competition. Folks, full show for you this evening. On the line with me in a second or so is Rito Hlangwani. He is, of course, the forwards coach for DHL Stormers as well as DHL Western Province Rugby. This is going to be a little bit of a touch on the fact that the players have made it into the semi-finals, and that's been a big move for them. We'll also catch up with Western Province Rugby's Faisal Felton, tell us a little bit of what's happening in the world of club rugby. Some of the clubs have been starting to move towards playing friendly fixtures. A lot of developments in the world of women's rugby, and of course we'll touch a little bit on coaching, as well as the fact that they are busy with lotto applications. Marlies van der Westhuizen is the club captain at NTK. She's going to tell us what's happening with the women and of course their academy structures at NTK. And we go behind the scenes with the Western Province Rugby under 20s, and we go behind the scenes with Kraaifontein Rugby Football Club. We went there on Tuesday night to catch some of the players in training. But on the line with me now, DHL Western Province Rugby forwards coach Rito Hlangwani. Rito, welcome back. Nice to see you again. We see you sitting there at Newlands.
Thank you, JP. Yeah, things are pretty good. As you mentioned, we're very happy to be in the semi-finals this week.
Yeah, so we spoke a few weeks ago. A lot of disruptions, a lot of work, obviously, that had to go in behind the scenes. But looking at the game on Saturday, it seems like there was a game plan. You guys were very patient and managed to pull it through.
Yeah, it's always a little bit tricky, when you go into a game and you have to get 5 points, you have to score 4 tries, you have to have pretty much a bit of a gap between you and the opponent. It just changes your mindset. We had nothing to lose. Before the game, we were out of the semis. We had to win comfortably to get into the semis. So we played without fear, and I think we learned a lot as coaches and as players about ourselves in terms of how we want to approach the next game coming up.
The game just before you guys, I think, was the Leopards and Griquas. It would not have really had any outcome on with you guys. You still would have had to put 4 tries on the board.
Yeah, look, I mean, we hadn't planned for them to draw. But we thought, it looked like if the Pumas won, then we would have to score, and the Griquas got no bonus point, would still have to score 4 tries, vice versa. So we knew, we've sort of disappointed ourselves in a way that we relied on teams to do certain things for us to still make it. And we knew at the max we would have to be stretched 2 to 5 tries and get a good score behind ourselves.
This coming weekend, though, it's the Bulls up at Loftus on Friday night. Sort of I suppose, what do you guys do now? Is it a reset, regather, look at the previous videos? I mean, behind the scenes, there's so much that goes on that we generally don't know about, or the public don't know about. And of course, we see you sitting there, of course, at Newlands at the moment, so which is fantastic. But yeah, what do you guys do now in the week? I mean, you've got 4 days or 3 days left to go. What is the typical road to the first semi-final?
Look, JP, obviously, having played on Saturday and this game this one coming up being on a Friday, it's a short turnaround. The most crucial thing for us is recovery. We want our players fresh. We always perform a little bit better when we're nice and fresh. So that's pretty much the most crucial thing. And in terms of preparation, we've played the Bulls probably 5-6 times in the past couple of months. So they know how we operate. We know how they operate. So pretty much focusing on ourselves and trying to make sure that our plans are good and our execution is good coming from us.
When you talk about recovery, what does that mean in the life of a player from a day-to-day perspective? Is it a question of sleep and rest and eating correctly and so on, or is there more to it?
Yeah, look, obviously it goes forward. There's always a player recovery. Sleep is definitely the biggest one. Your diet, recovery in the pool, basics one. But on the week like this, rest in terms of training less is also crucial. Avoiding, doing full contact kind of training and preparation so that you're nice and fresh, because you've done so much contact throughout the year. So contact conditioning is there. There's only very little that you can gain from if you do contact this week before a semi-final. So the big part of it this week around recovery, it's a rest more than anything. Also keeping the mind fresh. So very little change in terms of plans. Very few new plans coming in. Back the systems that have gotten us here, or the way we approach the Sharks game. So the recovery is sort of a holistic approach around the body, the mind, and how we feed players with information.
This Friday then it's the Bulls at Loftus. What does that mean for you guys in terms of travel and departure, etc.? When do you leave?
Yeah, JP. Obviously, when you play at altitude, you either leave very early or you leave as late as possible. And when I say as late as possible, it's obviously the day before the game. So we off tomorrow morning. We're off to Pretoria tomorrow morning, and we'll get to Pretoria, have a bit of a captain's run just to acclimatize a little bit, have the boys run a bit. They always say when you have that captain's run, the chest must burn. You're at altitude, you're comfortable, you're ready to go. We're off tomorrow morning, and the game is on Friday night at 7 o'clock. It's always a little bit tricky when the games are quite late. You almost have to keep the guys busy in the morning so they're not thinking too much about the game and, having a bit of anxiety around it. But, it's best for us to get there as late as possible tomorrow and, start preparing for Friday nights.
And the players generally in good spirits. Obviously must be happy with their win over the Sharks. Probably a few more points on the board there in the last minute, and that was fantastic, and lots of high fives and lots of shouting from the bench. But it does look like from the outside that there's a good geest there, and the guys are excited.
Yeah, JG, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to play semi-finals. We were quite excited about the last try. As we're under the pump. Mostly we blame ourselves to be in that position. But it was very nice for us to get the win right at the end as well. The boys were quite excited. The spirits are high. We want to go with the same approach this week. Hungry and play aggressively and try to make sure we achieve sort of the same thing against a very good Bulls outfit.
Rito, we'll leave it at that. Fantastic stuff. Congratulations on getting into the semi-final. We know that you guys have done it under extremely difficult conditions with all these disruptions and an extensive amount of traveling. We're excited to see how you guys go on the weekend. So best of luck from our side. Thanks for chatting to us, and of course give our best to the players, and we'll all be rooting for you this Friday.
Thank you very much, JP. Hopefully I'll be back next week talking about the finals.
Absolutely. Back next week, even if you're not talking about the finals, because we want to find out more about club rugby stuff from you. But so we say good luck, and good luck for the weekend.
Thanks, JP. All the best. Thank you very much.
Here we go, folks. Rito Hlangwani, forwards coach for DHL Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. And then this weekend, it's Western Province Rugby up against the Bulls in the first semi-final on Friday night in the Castle Currie Cup. And of course, we wish them the best of luck, and we're looking forward to that. Right, folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec.